Hundreds of trucks remain stranded along the N1 near Musina in Limpopo as severe traffic congestion continues to disrupt freight movement, public transport and ordinary motorists. The backlog, which stretches for approximately 20 kilometres from the Beitbridge Border Post, is reportedly being caused by slow screening and scanning processes on the Zimbabwean side of the border. Authorities have yet to indicate when traffic flow will return to normal. Let's go back to SABC News reporter Lutendo Bobodi for an update on that. Lutendo, thanks again for your time. Is there any movement there since the last time we spoke? And I do see now that there is a statement from the Border Management Authority who say they're aware of the situation there. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, I think it's thousands, not really hundreds, because I tried counting until I lost count, and it's a lot of trucks here. As I said, something I've never seen. But, there's just a little bit of movement right now, but it doesn't make any significant improvement or difference. My colleague always says, the camera doesn't always give you what the human eye can see, but we'll try our best. If I just step out of the shot now, you can see now we have just moved now towards the border gate. Now you can see it's one lane just because it's now moving towards the border gate. So they had to narrow it down a bit so that it can pass through the border gate. The gap you see right there means nothing. It's just a pathway to a filling station, a nearby filling station right here. But as I said, still the same, thousands of trucks. It's a long queue. As I said earlier, it was about 20 kilometers and they're still coming. It grows, by minute. This is what is unfolding right now. Basically, no movement. Of course, I reached out to SARS officials, one of the high-ranking SARS officials some moments ago, and he's still saying the same things, that it's not on the South African side. They said the system here on the South African side of the border, everything is smooth, they have enough bodies, the system is okay, they're working okay, everything is normal. But the problem, the delays are being caused by the system on the other side of the border. And as you said, in your intro, BMA released a statement, but just basically regurgitating what SARS has said. Right now, this is what is unfolding. This is the situation. Criselda.
All right, Lutendo, for the benefit of our viewers who might not have seen the statement, it does read that the Commissioner of the Border Management Authority, Dr. Michael Masiapato, is aware of those long queues that my colleague is speaking of there at the Beitbridge port of entry. And they wish to clarify that the current delays are not caused by operations on the South African side of the border. All SARS and BMA functions, including the immigration processing and all other functions, are functioning normally. The congestion is being experienced on the Zimbabwean side of the border. That is what my colleague has been reporting about. Those are the live visuals of that complete stagnation that you've seen. Those trucks have been there for quite some time now. And Lutendo, perhaps let me bring you in once again. Is there any indication, the statement doesn't really speak to when the situation, because this is obviously on the Zimbabwean side, is there anyone that you're able to get in touch with to try and ascertain, when they would try to perhaps get more personnel to deal with this issue, because it's going to be dark soon?
Well, Priscilla, if any personnel has to come through to help, that will be the Zimbabwean personnel. But we haven't reached out to the Zimbabwean officials. But SARS says they are working with their Zimbabwean counterparts to see how they can try and lubricate and try to help or facilitate a better movement of this traffic. Because if there are no problems on this side, or the South African side of the border, then it means what has to be fixed is on the other side of the border. And officials are saying right now, they are they are talking with the other side to try and interact and see how they can resolve this issue. But from our side, we haven't reached to the officials on the Zimbabwean side of the border, Griselda.
Yeah, Lutendo, very interesting. Our camera colleague just showed us a very interesting picture. You know, one always says there's definitely some sunshine in crisis. There's a lady who is cooking just right towards my right there. I'm not sure if she is to your right or to your left. And one of the drivers who's been stuck there for 2 days was complaining about how they need to go to Musina in order to get food. So the vendors that are on the side, they are likely to cash in on this particular crisis there. I guess that's good news for Mama, who is already taken the pots out there, and I can only imagine there'll be quite a long line by those drivers that are stuck there in order to get a plate of food.
Yes, Griselda. You see, they're taking advantage of that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
You know, for them, it's good business, and the truck drivers here, Griselda, have the money to buy food, and for them, you know, it's a respite because they're saying they've been starving. You know, I can see they're stepping out of their trucks and buying food there, and it's helping. It's not just these mamas you're seeing there. It's a lot of markets here, and I understand things like this work for them. But this is Beitbridge. It's always a hive of activity. Even, you know, at any day, business is good here, Griselda.
All right. Lutendo, thank you very much indeed for that update. We do appreciate your time once again. I'm sure you'll keep us abreast of issues there. If the situation does improve, please let us know as well. Thanks indeed.